Good evening and welcome to Peabody School Committee's meeting. Tonight is December 9th and we're here at the Higgins Middle School. My name is Joe Amico and I'm filling in for Mayor Betancourt, who's at a tax classification meeting over at City Hall. We have a full committee here along with our superintendent, Josh Vidala, Dr. Vidala, Dr. Chase, our business manager, and we have Laura Bowe doing our minutes. We're streaming live on Peabody TV and social media. With that said, if we could have a moment of silence first and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. So if we could, we're going to go out of order from our agenda, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Vidala. Dr. Vidala, if there are no objections, obviously. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amico. So tonight we have the pleasure of honoring 4 of our best and brightest from Peabody Veterans Memorial High School with a couple different awards. At the beginning of each year, we like to honor our students and this group that we have before you tonight. You'll be hearing their names quite a bit throughout the next 6 months as we get closer towards graduation and our award ceremonies. These are some amazing a young man and 3 young women who are some of our best students. They're tremendous athletes. They're involved in extracurriculars. As you look at their transcripts, the amount of AP classes that they're taking is extremely impressive, and each one of them is an incredible human being. I think the amount of service that they've done, the dedication that they have is truly incredible. So tonight we're going to honor with 2 separate awards. The first award that we have is from the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents. And given the size of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, we're allowed to give 2 awards for this, and it's Academic Excellence Awards on behalf of all the superintendents in Massachusetts. And we honor the top 2 students at Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. And so I'll call them up in one minute. And then the next award that we have is from the National School Development Council, and it's an award for academic growth and student leadership in learning. And I think as I look at these 4 individuals, not only are they great students and great people, the leadership and the service that they've done, truly incredible. Their parents are here, very proud of them and the work that they do, and we're very excited to hear about where they'll be continuing their studies next year. And we'll be welcoming them back, I'm sure, at some point in the spring, and we'll hear all about the great places that they're going. So I'll call the 4 of them up one at a time, and just please line up over here, and then we'll come over with the certificates, take a quick photo, and then get you off to your other things. So I'm very pleased for the Certificate of Academic Excellence from the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents going to our top 2 students in the graduating class, Elizabeth Betancourt and Kaylin Veltri. And our awards for academic growth and student learning, also Elizabeth Betancourt and Kaylin Veltri. And I'd also like to welcome Jacob Crocker and Sydney Lynch. Excellent. So I'll come around if any of the committee has any questions for these wonderful people. Not many of them know where they're going. I know one of them does, and I'm very excited to hear it. Jacob, could you tell us where you're going to school next year? Boston College. Yeah, BC. And I know we're still waiting on a couple. Sid, you don't know where you're going yet, right? Not yet. Excellent. Congratulations. I know Kaylin has gotten a couple acceptances, still waiting on a few, and Lizzie, you're still waiting on? Already going to Bates, during your sister. Congratulations. That is amazing. NESCAC school. Tremendous. Any other questions from the committee?
Could you tell us what you're looking to go into? What are you going to study when you go away?
Studying
Math, okay. How about you? Pre-law, wonderful. Mhm. That's wonderful, actually, really.
Most likely finance.
Finance, very good, okay. Well, I think you'll all do fine. Continue business, approval of bills. Continue business. Yeah. I know. There you go. Mine? Participation.
Great work.
Congratulations.
All right, great, thank you. That was an excellent ceremony there. If we can head back to our regular agenda. So we have the minutes.
Motion to make a motion to approve the November 25, 2025 regular school committee meeting minutes.
Great, thank you. Motion made by Mr. Hockman for the minutes on November 25th, 2025. Seconded by Mr. Olympio.
On that motion?
Sure.
Can we have a correction under the public participation? Just Ms. Millman's name is spelled incorrectly.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call vote with the amendment?
Mrs. Carpenter.
Present.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Miko.
Yes. That brings us to the approval of bills. Mr. Olympio?
I'd like to make a motion to approve warrant number 6226 in the amount of $140,883.09 dated December 9, 2025, subject to audit.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Olympio for warrant number 6226 in the amount of $140,883.09, seconded by Ms. Carpenter on the motion. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Miko.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve warrant number 6229 dated December 9th, 2025, in the amount of $689,276.24, subject to audit.
Motion made by Mr. Olympio for warrant number 6229 in the amount of $689,276.24, seconded by Ms. Carpenter on the motion. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Miko.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve warrant number 6230 in the amount of $160.79. There's a typo on the cover sheet. Dated December 9th, 2025, subject to audit.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Olympio for warrant number 6230, seconded by Ms. Carpenter. On the motion,
Thank you for catching that, Mr. Olympio. Thank you.
roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter?
Yes.
Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes. All right, that brings us to continued business, and that's the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School MSBA project update. Mrs. Dunn, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Right now, the School Building Committee has approved the submission of the request for services on the OPM. It will be submitted tomorrow to the MSBA for their review, and at that point, it will then come back to us and then be placed in the central register. So things are definitely going to be moving along fairly quickly once that starts. Once the advertisement goes into the central register, there's a time frame where anyone who wants to serve as the OPM has to prepare the materials and submit an application to the school building committee. The selection group has been working on not only the language for the RFS, but also the points that will be used to evaluate each application. So once those applications come in, that group will start to evaluate the applicants, assigning points. We'll have a spreadsheet where those are all included. And then there will be a check of their references. After that, there'll be a selection of probably the top 3 that we feel would be the companies we would really like to talk to. And then interviews would be scheduled with those businesses. And at that point, we'll select the person that we think is going to be the OPM for the project. And by March, that information will be forwarded to the MSBA, and then they will hold a board meeting and decide whether that OPM is going to be allowed to work on our project. They have a lot of qualifications that they have to meet, just in general, to get in the door to do a project of this size and scope. And then we put our own on with things that we want to see based on our experience working on the Higgins and the Welch. There are some things that we want to make sure that are really highlighted, people who have worked on a high school before, an occupied building, people who have experience with green initiatives and making sure that we have sustainable practices on the site and with the building. There's a whole bunch of them, and we will use those to see what the companies have done in the past, how they've performed. We will make phone calls, talk to people in those communities to find out how things worked out, and at that point, we'll have an OPM. Once we have the OPM, things will really, as I said, things will really start to pick up as far as the duties on the school building committee, but also on the information you'll be getting, because that's when we're going to start really having working groups that will deal with many of the aspects of the high school. And we'll be reaching out to people to work with the members of the school building committee and use community expertise. So it's been interesting so far. It's nice to get to this stage and have that really big piece of the puzzle ready to go. So tomorrow we're all looking forward to it. I know Dr. Vidala and Mr. Rippon and I, we're on that committee, and we can't wait to get that out there, because it's been a lot of thought, a lot of writing. And God bless Dan Doucette for the work he's done. So that's the news on the high school front. And if anybody has any questions, please always feel free to ask. And hopefully this month we might get a link up for a bit of an online presence for the project. But once the OPM comes on, they all have their own way of handling the information and going online and everything. But we're still working on that piece.
Well, thank you, Ms. Dunn. And, I know this personally because you and I met way back when, before this building was, it was basically just being thought of. I live on the other side of one of these fences here, and I remember reaching out to you because you were the lead on this building, and the dedication and the, speaking of expertise that you brought to this building here and then to the Welch. I think we're in really good hands with with our new high school. So thank you for all that you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And one thing people need to realize is the building of the police station is also a piece of the expertise that takes place here in Peabody. And there are lessons learned from that project that we're going to use with the high school as well. So it's all interrelated, and it is really a community effort. So thank you. And it was fun to meet you and talk to you
I
about
think
the
it was like
project.
2013 or something.
I
It was-
know. The kids were still so little.
Yeah, and it was just great to be able to speak to someone. And I know if anyone has any questions, that you're always available to talk, and Dr. Vidala and obviously the mayor's office. So, but thank you for all that you do.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're welcome.
It. Thank you. Have any questions for Ms. Dunn? All right. To continue business, F27 budget process. Ms. Dunn.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Vidala. I know in our written communications, we have a calendar that talks about all of the school council schedules. I'd like us to be able to take a look at that and figure out when we can meet with the school councils, just to see their reports, their school plans, be able to get a step in the right direction of getting prepared for the budget hearings. As I said, I am not as concerned at the beginning of this with the amount of money that is anticipated. I want to hear what the schools want, what they need, what they're looking for, so that when we do get into discussions of money, and we all know there'll be a line item with a specific item and specific cost, but we'll at least know the background behind what the school wants to do, what they're hoping to do. So I know when we get to written communications, we'll be receiving those and approving them, but I would like us to use that and perhaps come up with a schedule and be able to find out what they want. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Appreciate it. Who else? All right, so we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Vidala, please.
Thank you, Mr. Miko. And if it's appropriate, I'd like to go out of order. I'll just jump number 4 to the beginning since it's relevant. In our packet is a written communication with all of the school council dates for each school that they've already set. And, I think this was a discussion that Mrs. Dunn and I had around making sure that we were able to engage the student councils this year in the budget process. And, Ms. Dunn has noted that, we do have a lot of work to do this year. So I thought it would be helpful if we are able to engage the school councils during their meetings. We can bring that up as well. And that way we can report back during a regular school committee meeting. We're not able to do all the work at each of these meetings, but we'll be doing a lot of work in between as well. And so if this helps to inform it, and then we can speak to the councils around which meeting they could come before us here at the regular school committee meeting and inform it. So I figured I would include those as well. And if there are any questions, we can reach out directly to the school councils as well.
Mr. Chairman, motion to receive written communications 1 through 5.
Second.
All right. You heard the motion by Mr. Hockman to receive the communications from 1 through 5, seconded by Ms. Dunn on the motion. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Yes. Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Excellent.
And then I did have a question. Could you send us some additional information? Could you send us the roster for each school council, just so we all know who's on?
Yes, all the members? That's
Yeah,
a great
that'd be
idea.
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll get that off to you right away.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so if we continue on, we had our students, that was great earlier the meeting, to recognize Elizabeth Betancourt, Kaylin Veltri, Jacob Crocker, and Sydney Lynch with those awards, some amazing students. Earlier this evening, before this meeting, we had a retiree recognition, and a number of our retirees were able to come and receive certificates. Those who were not able to join us, we have some snowbirds who have made the trip down to the warmer weather, which we're all jealous of. But I did want to recognize all of our retirees from 2025, and then we'll do another one in 2026. So Bonnie Anderson from Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, Maureen Capobianco from the McCarthy School, Claire Church was our clerk at the Brown School for many years, Joyce Connors at the West, Patricia Franzozzi at the West, Mary Gigliello from the Higgins, Trish Hosman from the West, Susan Jalbert, fondly known as Chef Sue, at the South, Jean Kelly from the West, Barbara Koritsky from the Burke, John LaFrada from the Higgins, and he's another one of those teachers that we've pulled back, and he's still with us as much as he can be. Christina McGregor from the McCarthy, Christina Manikis from the Higgins, Patricia May from the Higgins, John Newbury was here tonight from the South, Liz Ophelis from the Brown, Nancy Pacheco from the Transportation Department, Melinda Parker was our reading teacher at the Burke, Bob Quist, our guidance director, Kathleen Santo, an EL teacher from the Carroll, Debbie Sinclair from the Welch, and Sue Velagore from the Carroll. So I just wanted to recognize and thank all of the retirees for their dedicated service. Combined here, we have many years of service and just countless numbers of students that have been impacted and families that have benefited from their service. So just a great tribute to them today, and a lot of thanks and gratitude. So it's nice coming out of the Thanksgiving break and to offer some gratitude to these wonderful educators. And then the final item on the superintendent's report for today is a donation from Gary Omasta, and Gary has been very much a very generous donor and working with his company at the Cummings Properties to donate money to our virtual school Peabody Prep. And this year they were generous enough to donate $2,000 on behalf of Gary Omasta, and we just want to thank him. And I'd entertain a vote to send a letter of gratitude and accept this donation.
Motion received with gratitude.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn, seconded by Mrs. Swanson. All in favor? All in favor?
So, thank you all, and that concludes the superintendent's report. I know Ms. Dunn may have a
Sure, Ms.
comment
Dunn,
or
go right
question.
ahead. Thank you, Dr. Vitale.
I wanted to say thank you for having the retiree recognition. I know this was something that Mr. Amico brought up just recently, and I think it was a nice thing to start it up again. I know, timing is everything, and you never know when you're going to get a good day for everybody. But understanding that they're retired, they can go south. They don't have to stay here with us in -2 weather. But I think it was a good start to get back to honoring the people who've given, my gosh, when you think about it, much of their life to the district and to the students and families. So it was fun to see them here and talk to them, and it's a good thing to honor them. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. And, we've said this before, a lot of our teachers are either live here in Peabody or, grew up here and maybe moved out, but a lot of their family is still here. So, we not only do they teach and they do so much with our kids, but they're also involved in the community, and you see them everywhere. They're volunteering. They're, they're out and about. They're, whether they're retired or not, they're still giving back to this community. So they're one of our true treasures in this city, and it's important, and I hope we keep this up. So thank you, Dr. Vidal, and thank you for everyone for doing that. Appreciate it.
Actually, can I bring something up? I don't know if it's the right time, but I tried to do this last year. And I'm going to bring it up in a more formal way, but we're talking about retirees and how they've given their lives, so many of them as teachers and cafeteria workers and, guidance counselors. But one of the things that hit me last year or the year before were our students, when they're going to college, if they're going for athletics, they have a signing ceremony, which is a great big deal with the pennant from the college, and they have the ceremony where they sign and a lot of photographs. And it made me realize teachers are just so valuable, and we cherish them, but the public doesn't understand it always. And there's a problem in the country with people becoming teachers. People don't want to do it anymore. So last year I had asked if we could get together the students at the high school who are planning to go into education, and actually to bring in the teachers on our staff who are PVMHS alumni and take their picture. to encourage them to follow through on their dream of working in education and to show them, some of the students know who the teachers are that went to Peabody High, but some don't. And I think it might be something that would be helpful to encourage students and try to help to raise the awareness and the appreciation of getting a degree in education. And I'd like to work with you, Dr. Vidala, and the committee to do something more like that and have, a signing ceremony for all of our students who go into education. And let them know that we're proud of them and we're going to be looking for them in 4 years. And I think with the teaching profession under siege right now, they need a bit more of a boost, and we need to encourage our students because that is such a noble profession. And it is a profession, no matter what the government says. So we could get them started on their way, and then in 35 years, they can retire.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn.
I
Appreciate it.
love this idea, Ms. Dunn. And I know DESE has some... This has been an idea to have a national teacher signing day or
They
a
should.
statewide or something. They have something that we can follow, but I think your point of bringing in all of the teachers that are alumni of Peabody High School makes it that much more personal, and I think that's a special touch, and I think we should definitely do that this spring.
Yeah,
So
and
I'll work with Ms. Randall on that,
fun.
and I'll provide an update soon. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll expand it later to all the teachers in the whole district, and we'll get a bus and bus them to the high school. So, because, there are elementary school teachers that our students have had that gave them that love of teaching. So this will expand. You know it will.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Let's move on to public participation. Do you want to see if do we have anyone online to start?
Seeing none online.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Anyone? Sophia? All right, so we'll move on to written communications. First one is a donation for $2,000 from, we spoke of that.
Did that one.
And,
So we're on to late.
I'm sorry, so we...
Did that one out of order.
That's
Sorry.
right. We're on late communication. It was a letter from Peabody CPAC dated December 5th, 2025.
Motion to receive.
Second.
Motion to receive by Ms. Dunn, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Paul? Roll call vote?
Mrs. Carpenter? Yes. Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes. All right, that brings us to the subcommittee reports. Ed Subcommittee, I have nothing to report at this moment. Finance, Mr. Olympio?
Nothing new to report.
Thank you. School Safety Subcommittee, Mr. Olympio?
Nothing new to report.
Athletics and Wellness, Mr. Hockman?
We will be meeting, having an Athletics and Wellness Subcommittee meeting immediately following this regular school committee meeting.
Great. Who do we have? Ms. Dunn, do you have the quality and... Oh, okay, all right, sorry about that. Quality and standards?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Quality and Standards Subcommittee met this evening prior to the retirement ceremony at 5:45 here in the library. We have three policies that we would like to request a first reading for. The first one is, and the reason that these three, visitors to the schools, buildings and grounds management, and access to buildings and grounds, we'd held off on those to find out about security. There's going to be a security summit sometime in the next few months, and it seemed appropriate that we would move with these because more specific information will come once those policies are examined by the security. I believe it's going to be a security committee. And so The first one is visitors to the schools, and these all were recommended for a first reading by the subcommittee. So I'm going to make a motion that policy KI, visitors to the schools, be approved for first reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Dunn for policy KI regarding visitors to the school, seconded by Mr. Swanson. On the motion, roll call vote.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Ms. Carpenter, please.
Thank you. Through the chair, Ms. Dunn, I apologize. I would have asked you about this earlier. For visitors to the school, would the process of scanning IDs be in this part, or is that in a different section?
Right now, it is in a different section, but I think it's going to be all merged together as far as the process and the procedures for that, because I know that the security discussions will detail some of the newer equipment that's needed.
So this won't
nowadays.
supersede that?
No.
The scanning will still apply?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Carpenter. Ms. Dunn.
Okay. All right. The next one, oh, you need a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's a motion on the floor, so roll call vote, please. Thank you.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Amico.
Yes.
Okay.
And Ms. Dunn.
Thank you. The next policy is ECA, which is Building and Grounds Security. And again, this is up for just a first reading right now. We know it's going to be adjusted. But I'd like to make a motion that policy ECA, Buildings and Grounds Management, I'm sorry, it should say Building and Grounds Security in our agenda. It's labeled Building and Grounds Security for first reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy ECA, Buildings and Grounds Security, seconded by Mr. Swanson. On the motion? None? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Amico.
Yes. Ms. Dunn?
Okay, thank you. The next one, and it does seem like visitors, but they have done these into two different policies. ECAB is a policy concerning access to buildings and grounds. So again, it's all related, but it is separated. People who are supposed to be here are not visitors. And that's one of the distinctions, a very brief distinction. So it was the recommendation of the committee that we do have this for first reading. So I'd like to make a motion that policy ECAB, access to buildings and grounds, be approved for first reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy ECAB for access to buildings and grounds, seconded by Mr. Swanson. On the motion, roll call vote.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Hockman.
Yes.
Mr. Olympio.
Yes.
Mr. Swanson.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Amico.
Yes.
Okay. Policy IKF, there was confusion at our last meeting. We had some of the older policies. We had the competency mixed in with this. This policy was discussed and approved for a second reading back in May, and this is the policy that Dr. Vidala would like to submit on behalf of the district to meet the deadline for the graduation requirements. We know that the requirements are being changed. They're working on them right now with DESE. There's going to be a lengthy process and discussion coming up as soon as we get back for the new year. So at that point, there'll be further discussion, a lot of in-depth work on coming up with what we want for our students. But right now, this was recommended to be submitted. We do not need to take any action on that, and the superintendent will take care of that as he sees fit. So that's just some information. Okay, thank you. The next set of policies, you all approved them at the last meeting for first reading. Now we have a second reading. So the second reading recommended by the committee is policy KBG, Parent Advisory Councils. I'd like to make a motion that policy KBG be approved for second reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy KBG for second reading on parent advisory councils, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next policy, FA-N, Neighborhood Schools. This is here for a second reading, and I would like to make a motion that this be approved for second reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy FA-N, neighborhood schools, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
And even though he's not here for this meeting, I wanted everyone to know this is the policy we're going to call the Betancourt policy. Neighborhood schools. Okay. The next one is policy IJNC, libraries in school buildings. I'd like to make a motion that that be approved for second reading. So moved.
Second.
Policy IJNC, made by Ms. Dunn, second for libraries and school buildings, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter?
Yes.
Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Okay. In your packet, you have 2 copies of the anti-bullying policy. These would have been brought to you this evening. They were discussed again yesterday at the task force meeting. However, in preparation for this evening's meeting, we found that there are comments from Attorney Michael Joyce, who had reviewed this policy. And those comments addressed many of the questions of the subcommittee members, the task force members, I'm sorry. So, and I can let Mr. Swanson address it if you'd like, John, but we decided that it would be more appropriate to hold on this policy to be able to bring it back to the task force for further discussion and let them see the responses of Mr. Joyce and be able to discuss the policy before it comes to the school committee. So this one, we're going to hold on this. We're not going to decide it. You okay? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. The next policy is meal modifications, and this was recommended for a second reading. So I'd like to bring forward policy EFBA, meal modification, for a second reading. So move.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy EFBA on meal modifications, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Okay. Policy EFD is brought to you before you for a second reading. It's the meal charge policy. We understand, and we discussed this before, we don't charge for meals right now, but that could change, and we need to have something in place just in case, and hopefully we'll never need to use this policy, but we want to make sure it's on record. So, bringing forward policy EFD, meal charge policy, for a second reading. So move.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy EFD, meal charge policy, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter?
Yes.
Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Thank you. Next policy, policy KBE, relations with parent and booster organizations. And if you can remember last meeting, we withdrew the language that talked about Section 501c3 status for all of our booster organizations. We made this more applicable to all of the groups. So that correction has been made, and it is before you this evening for a second reading. So policy policy KBE, relations with parent booster organizations, for a second reading. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy KBE, relations with parent booster organizations, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Okay. And the next policy is policy JJE, student fundraising activities. This is before you for a second reading. So I'd like to make a motion that policy JJE, student fundraising activities, be approved for second reading.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Dunn for policy JJE, student fundraising activities, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Thank you. Policy GBEBC, gifts to and solicitation by staff. This is brought to you for a second reading, and I would like to make sure you know, and I'll make sure it's in the next policy, in the next packet. The back page of that is left off. It is the references, the legal references, and it will be sent to all of you, but that's what's missing on the second page. But the full policy is here. Do you have it? Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, it's very brief. Oh, good, all right. I'm the only one without it. Okay. No, it's okay. Ah, okay. No, you know what? I had dropped my package, so that's probably right. I'm going to I take your word on it that you have the back page. I have the back page up here. I know what it looks like. I know Ms. Maccarelli put it together for us. Okay. So anyway, you have the complete package. I'm bringing it before you for a second reading. So moved.
Second.
Policy GB, these on EBC, gifts to and solicitation by staff. Motion made by Ms. Dunn, seconded by Mr. Swanson. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carpenter? Yes. Mr. Hockman?
Yes.
Mr. Olympio?
Yes.
Mr. Swanson?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Dunn, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's
Appreciate
it.
that.
And before we go, I really want to thank Mr. Swanson for his service on this subcommittee. He's been wonderful to work with, and I know this is our last meeting together for this part of the school committee, and just say thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words.
All right, we're going to move on to Ms. Dunn, liaison to parent and student advisory boards.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay. There is a meeting of the Parent Advisory Board scheduled for next Thursday, the 18th at 7 here at Higgins. One of the topics will be Destination Imagination, to let parents know that the program is back and we want to make sure that people get involved in it. That has always been a wonderful opportunity for parents to work with their students and for the schools to support the students. And we've always looked at it as basically our gifted student program. It is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I served for many years with DI, and before that when it was Odyssey of the Mind. And Mrs. Bugler, Diane Bugler, will be coming to speak at the meeting and let parents know what goes into that program. But the exciting news that she told me when I wrote to her and said, could you come? She said, did you know it's going to take place in Peabody? That is huge. All the local communities, when they go to a local school for the competition, you have to come see it. It's absolutely incredible what the students do, and it is all done by the students. As a parent, you are not allowed to help them other than to make sure that they're at the event. If they need construction paper, you go get construction paper, but you don't tell them, oh, you need construction paper. No, it comes from the kids. You make sure they have it. You support them, but they create everything, and it is absolutely wonderful. I can never say enough about Destination Imagination. So I do hope people will enjoy her presentation. I do hope as we go forward that people will participate in it, and having it here in Peabody is huge. That is really something. We've had teams go on in the competitions out at Worcester Polytech, and not Worcester State, no, Worcester Polytech. And there is so much in that program. It all looks like fun, but it is so grounded in engineering and performance and problem solving. It's hands-on. All right, I could go on and on. I'll let Diane do that. Mrs. Bugler will go on and on. But anyway, that's going to be next Thursday. And I'm hoping to be able to meet with the students. I do have some materials for the Student Advisory Board from from the State Student Advisory Council, so I'll be able to give it to them. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Mr. Swanson.
Thank you. Through you to Mr. Dunn. When is that meeting next?
Thursday, December 18th.
Oh, I was gonna say, so I am traveling this week, but as a former DI
Oh, good.
guide in the past for several years, I was going to offer to help Ms. Bugler sell this program, and I would like to ask you, since we're not going to be there, if you might have her reach out to me to help her communicate with the parents and their students, because this is a phenomenal. I think it's one of those things that Ms. Bugler has championed it for a long time. If you don't know her, she is a champion for the STEM and our students. This program really draws out creativity, engineering, arts, and as Ms. Dunn said, it's not a matter of somebody guiding them and giving them a program. They're developing their minds, they're challenging critical thinking in all of these different venues. And again, bringing it to Peabody is massive. If you've never been to the Beverly High when they had it, it is packed with students. It brings in families, and obviously outside of the schools, it'll help our community as well. So I offer my services to Ms. Bugler and yourself for getting this champion.
That's great. That really, this is big.
Yes, I agree.
I'm glad you know too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Building and Grounds Subcommittee, Mr. Hockman.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Special Ed Subcommittee?
Just want to remind everybody, Wednesday, December 17th, 6:30 to 8, right here at the Higgins. CPAC is putting on their holiday party. There's going to be a sensory Santa, so I would encourage people to come and go on CPAC's Facebook and website for further details.
Thank you, Mr. Olympio. Liaison to City Council and Legislative Delegation? Ms.
Nothing to
Carpenter?
report.
Thank you. Mr. Hockman, redistricting?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. And Mr. Swanson, Performing Arts Subcommittee, please.
Thank you. Just performing arts, we had several performances at the city's holiday festival at City Hall. Our students are phenomenal there. Rest of this winter, you're going to see them out and around town preparing for inauguration in January. They have the winter concerts coming up. And I'd ask whoever takes my seat as this chair of the Performing Arts Subcommittee, ensure you're championing for them, as well as please make sure that the smoke hatch gets repaired in the Peabody Public High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Before we end, I just wanted to welcome two of our newest members that will be joining us in January, Suzanne Cox and Pam Millman. Thank you very much for being here, and best of luck when you start in January, and thank you for being here again. With that said, I do want to recognize two dear friends of ours. And sometimes we feel like we're family because we spend so much time together and we talk so much about what's really going on in our schools and more importantly, what's going on in our whole community, because that's what we do. And I'll start with Mr. Swanson. And I know the mayor wanted to be here for both of you, Mr. Swanson and Mr. Hockman. Mr. Swanson, I met you many years ago. You were volunteering, right? I mean, that's what we do. That's what you do. Little League at James Street Park, and we met. And the minute I met you, I said, "This guy's a really good guy. He really cares about people, cares about kids." And then a few years later, you really got involved with the Verizon Tower in South Peabody, and you were a leader in that. And then you were voted on to the school committee. And I think in the 4 years that you've been here. In the time that I've been here, I've never seen anyone work as much and do as much that you do for kids. Then you hooked on with Maria Ferry with the, Sherry, excuse me, I was thinking of Maria Ferry from CTE. Maria Sherry with the whole bus safety, and you really you were in it to save kids' lives. I mean, we're here to set policy, but you went above and beyond. You were here for that end of it, and you did so much with that, and then, of course, performing arts. There isn't a bigger fan in Peabody for those kids, for our band, for our performing arts students, and it's truly appreciated. And as a friend and a colleague, I just want to say thank you very, very much. And I know you're so respected in the city, and don't go too far, because there's something for you in the city, and it's going to be something big, because the city really needs you. So, Mr. Swanson, thank you so much. I'll give you a minute to.
Anybody get tissues? I mean, this is not easy. I am an emotional mess. First, thank you for the words. Second, to the city, to the mayor, all that encouraged me to run. Thank you. I'm honored. It's been 4 years, but this is what this does to me. I truly thank you. I truly am honored to be sitting in this seat. I enjoyed what I did, what I've done for the students, for the staff. And I only hope that as I leave this seat, that I did make a difference, that I did leave this board better than I came into it. Y'all, everyone at this table has changed me. You've guided me. You've helped me grow in each of your own unique ways, and I very much appreciate that. Coming into it, as nervous as I am now, I was that day one, but you all were behind me and supported me. And I want to thank my family for all the time they let me leave the house, budget meetings, budget season. Again, you can tell this means a lot to me. I cherish this seat, and I'm honored for what you allowed me to do as for the city, our staff, and our students. I'm gonna just wrap it up with that, because thank you to everybody. That's all I can say. Thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Ms. Dunn, please.
Thank you. I want to add to what I had said before, to thank you for serving on the policy subcommittee, because you've made that work enjoyable, and you've put your heart and soul into that, like you do with everything. Hearing your reports about performing arts are wonderful. Serving with Mr. Swanson on the school building committee has been great. You'll be staying on that, just so you know. And working with you on the task force and seeing your leadership on that policy and procedure subcommittee has been amazing. It's really been wonderful to work with you. And I thought I really appreciated you, John, because I like you as a friend, and I like the way the way you work hard on everything that we do for school committee. But honestly, finding out you know about Destination Imagination, you just went up 1,000 points in my book. So you're a really good guy. So thank you, John. We'll keep you involved. There's no way we can take you out of this picture right now.
Thank you.
We need you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dunn, for the kind words. And I, at least 4 years, coached several teams, so love it. And again, for the students and their growth.
Well,
Thank
it's
you.
that engineering mind of yours. I love to go to a meeting with John because he looks at things so organized. It's great when you're talking to an engineer. Boom, boom, boom. So definitely a
Thank you.
pleasure.
That's the only reason I corrected you. It was not Worcester State. It was WPI that the.
Right, I almost said, yeah, but I'm thinking, oh, it's WPI because
My alma mater and where Elijah is now. So
that's an awesome school, too.
It really is. Ms. Carpenter.
Thank you. Mr. Swanson, I'm going to miss you terribly. You were kind, professional. We never battled. We have a different speech in a little while. But I will miss you. I did really appreciate the performing arts pieces that you would bring forward to us. It really opened my eyes. You're definitely going to be missed, and I hope that you'll stay around, and I hope you'll still call and be involved. I think Mrs. Dunn still has her hooks in you for a few things. And and it will continue, right? Once you serve, you never truly stop. So thank you for the time that we spent together, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the guidance you've given me over the time. And we didn't fight; we had good conversations, and I appreciate that. Again, that's part of what changed me is the conversations that we've had, if we agreed or disagreed. And thank you again for the support and the guidance throughout these years. So thank you. I very much appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Carpenter.
Swanee, we all met, Joe, you and I, on that Little League field. Our 3 kids played ball together at a team that you managed. And I remember, I think that was the only time that we did argue, was when to change the pitcher. But other than that, no, Swanee, you're an incredible human being. You've become a good friend of mine. You have talents that aren't realized by most people in this city. Your dedication, your devotion, your care for giving kids opportunities, giving you talk in terms of and live by a model of equity for everybody, and it's not seen because you're so quiet and you're so reserved in the manner that you handle yourself. But Joe talked about some of the endeavors that you've taken on in the last 4 years, and they're all about making sure kids are safe, making sure kids have opportunities to succeed. It's just been, people don't know about, your volunteerism outside of the committee, outside of school stuff. People don't know that you're a freeloader. You are a freeloader. And I know that we're going to have plenty of opportunities to work together in the future. There's a lot of things that you're going to be involved in. I expect that you're going to be around for a long, long time doing a whole host of things. The city of Peabody is better because of John Swanson. Always believe that. And elections are funny things, right? They're funny things. They're not necessarily indicative of, who's the most qualified candidate. And I think I look forward to the 2 new school committee members who I think are going to bring their talents to this committee in different ways than you have. But that doesn't mean that you're not talented. You have an abundance of talent that you need to continue to allow to flourish and bloom, because the city needs you, the kids of the city need you, and I'm proud to call you a friend.
Thank you, and I return that as well. I'm proud to call you as a friend, and I appreciate that. This opportunity that 2 of you here at the table encouraged me to run that, as well as Mr. Turco, encouraged me to run for, opened my eyes, and you all have guided me to that. And I think the opportunities that I didn't know existed, this presented, and I thank you for that as well. Your guidance in helping me see those opportunities means a lot to me. It's as well as your support and all that you've given me from this time. So thank you very much.
Mr. Olympio.
Mr. Swanson, I echo the same sentiments that all my colleagues have said, but really what I've taken away, it's been a pleasure getting to know you this past 4 years. I consider you a friend. Just your even keel approach to things, and you're always listening, no matter what side it could be. And I just think you're a tremendous professional, tremendous man, and you really serve this city well, and I know you'll be doing that in the future, and I will sorely miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olympio. Again, I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate the guidance you give me, and one of the things I learned is to speak when something needs to be said, and I learned that from that's one of the things I learned from you is, I don't always need to chime in, but when I do, be meaningful, be thoughtful, and that's one of the things I gained for you. Again, I gained from all of you, and each of you have changed me. I keep saying this, as well as this position. So for the opportunity, thank you very much.
All right. Oh, one. We have not so fast, Council. Mr. Hockman. Wow. I just have to ask you one question. How many years was it? 15 to 16? 16 years, yeah. So this city is very, very fortunate to have you elected to the city council in November, but it's a huge loss for us here on the school committee. I've known you for many years, and I'm just going to, a quick little story about Mr. Hockman, Jared. When our kids were going to the center school, I think it was a Tuesday, and my kids were supposed to be at FKO, but it was I thought it was a Monday, but it was a Tuesday, and my kids were supposed to be at FKO on a Monday, but it was a Tuesday. So I get a call at 3:05, and it was Mr. Hockman, and said, hey, Joe, why aren't you picking up the kids? And I said, what do you mean? They're at FKO. He says, today's Tuesday. And, of course, Jared picked up my kids and brought them to my house, and here I am late. And that's just one little thing, you know, the type of guy that Jared is, to always be there for someone else, to be there for a friend. But for a community, you know, you're started off with the backpacks and your No Child Goes Hungry. Mr. Swanson and I and others have been involved in it, but not to the extent that Mr. Hockman has, and the amount of children and families that his organization feeds is just, it's really eye-opening. It really is, and that's just one little thing that, it's not a little thing, it's a huge thing that Mr. Hockman does. But then all of your expertise and knowledge and that you bring to our meetings and our organization, we're truly going to miss you. And bringing people together, and then that's one of the things that you do well, especially during meetings, because let's face it, you know, there have been times over the years when things have gotten heated. Yeah, I'm looking over there, and then I'm looking at his dance partner over there. Miss Carpenter, no, just kidding. But Mr. Hockman always has a way of just, you know, compromising or bringing people together and saying, you know what, let's look at this, and let's you know, and especially over the years, cooler heads have prevailed, and you've brought people together to really put kids first. And that's something that we'll always remember about you, is you always put kids first. And sometimes we had to make difficult decisions to do that, but you can hold your hat on that you always advocated for kids. And as a dear friend, I really appreciate you, and I wish you a ton of luck. And again, the City Council is so lucky to have you, and we have a big hole, and I hope we can fill that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Joe, thanks. Before I get into it, public service is hard. Public service requires us to be away from our families for some special events. It requires us to spend time doing our job. You know, too many people out there, I think that we meet twice a month, and that's about the extent of the work that we do, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. So first, I'd like to thank my family. You know, I'd like to apologize to my kids for missing some of the things that they experienced that I should have been there. I tried to get to as much as I could, but you know, a funny thing is they were upset with me this year. There was a meeting, a school committee meeting, I think maybe even a budget meeting on my birthday, and they were upset that I attended the meeting. But I told them it's, you know, part of my responsibility. So I do want to apologize to them publicly, because without them and their support and a whole bunch of other people, you know, this wouldn't mean as much as it does. I'm grateful to the people in this great city who've given me the opportunity to serve 4 terms here at the school committee. It's a position, a part-time position, right, Bev? A part-time position that's clearly changed my life. I'm different now, far different now than I was 16 years ago when I took this seat. I remember my first meeting, getting kicked off the stage. We used to meet at the Kiley, getting kicked off the stage because I was arguing with another committee member about something that I felt strongly about, but I didn't have the ability to understand that I was part of a team, that I needed to work with my committee members. I needed to talk to people, right? Build coalitions and build understand priorities and be mindful of what was important to others that might not have been so important to me, and draw on their passions and things like that. So it wasn't. This has been the most peaceful iteration of the school committee that I've been on, but it always hasn't been that way. And Brandy and Bev have been there from the beginning of my tenure. They've been here longer than me, and they recall, I'm sure, some meetings that weren't terribly pleasant, and some votes that, or motions maybe that weren't well received, and things like that. But I'm grateful to all of you. I'm grateful to all of you for teaching me, for really showing me so much, both about public life and just about being a better person. So thank you all for that. And Joe, we did meet in the schoolyard at the center school, and it was always a pleasure. I think we met, it was the kindergarten line or the first grade line or something like that, way back in the annex when we met at the annex. So thank you. Yeah. And it's been a long road, and I've gotten to know your family very, very well. Coached Joey in baseball for a number of years, and it's been, I appreciate your kind words.
And the sheriff's proud of you. Ms. Carpenter.
Mr. Hockman. I remember that meeting when you got kicked off the stage. I remember your very strong opinions for a long time. You're right. In the beginning, sometimes, you come in kind of full of fire and brimstone, and then things change. I think one of the turning points was the night we were at the Kylie, and during the meeting, you went behind the curtain, and then you came back, and we had Chinese food delivered in the back of the room. I think that was like an apology to us for something.
It's just hungry.
But it's true, there was a lot of ups and downs. But I will say that the 16 years that we've worked together, I think one of the turning points is, for me anyway, is when our world kind of went upside down, right? And Jared and I think at that time, we really found some common ground. We had some good conversations. And you've changed a lot. I've changed a lot. This committee has changed a lot. And I am going to miss you. I am. I'm actually looking forward to you representing us so proudly on the city council. I know we have a lot of committee members there, have gone through there, some are still there. But, we talked, and you know where we're coming from. You understand what we go through. And you and I talked about the respect that I think that you're going to give us there and represent for us, and I appreciate that. You have a wealth of knowledge of what we go through, and I'm actually very happy for you to move on to that position, and I know you'll help us over there. So congratulations. I will miss you. And stay in touch.
You're not going to miss me because we're having Chinese at your house the first Monday of the month.
You buying?
I'm buying, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Randy. We've come a long way. It was rocky in the beginning. And I'm grateful for the forgiveness and compassion that you've offered me, and allowed us the opportunity to develop a relationship, and that really did solidify, you're right, during the COVID years, which were really crazy for a lot of reasons. Kara had just passed, and we had so much going on. Judy Maniatis had passed right after that, and we had so many things going on with the uncertainty of the information we were receiving, and it was really a difficult time for a committee to function, let alone a school district. And those were some trying times, and I'm grateful that we were able to find that common ground and work well together and build off of that. So thank you. Every other month you're buying the Chinese, though.
Mr. Olympio.
Jared, I'm going to miss you terribly as well. Over the past 10 years or so. Actually, I would even go back to probably when you first ran. When I first ran, I look at that, the competition I was up against, Jared, Tom Rosignol, Bev, and Coach Niz. I mean, that was a gauntlet to go through the first time back in '09. But back then, you were gracious to me, always gracious, always words of encouragement. And then when I finally did get on 10 years ago, I think as a committee, we work well together. What I always marveled about you, and maybe it evolved over a period of 4 or 5 years, is that you were passionate about your positions, but you always treated everybody on this floor with respect. And you would go back and forth with people, and and then in the next breath, you'd have a heavy disagreement, and then the next topic would come up, and you compliment the very same person that you were battling with, so to speak. So that's always stuck out with me. And even a handful of times, if we disagreed on something, and we were fine, but after the meeting, you just come up to me and say, "Are we okay? I just want to make sure you didn't take anything a certain way." And I always respected that of you. The self-awareness that I would say probably over the last 7, 8, 9 years that you've developed, especially in these meetings, it's really impressed me. And you're just going to be missed. You're certainly going to. I'm looking forward to having you on the city council. I think you'll represent the city well, as you always do, and you'll be missed, and I consider you a friend as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Swan?
Swanee, give me a second here.
Okay, good. Sorry, I'm in.
Swanee, yeah, thanks, John. You know, it was an interesting way to meet, right, in a campaign, and being candidates for the same position. And I'm really happy that you came back and you know, persevered. You know, you bring so much to this committee. First of all, your financial knowledge and background, but also your, Swanee hit it. You don't talk a lot, right? But when you do talk, it's because it's something that you feel strongly about, and you're able to convey that in a really clear and succinct way. And I've always admired that, something I don't always do. But, you know, you say, you know, you are another guy, another person that really does a lot behind the scenes that people don't know about. I remember, CJ's a senior now? So, junior. So 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we were in a pinch. We didn't have a 13-year-old manager for a Babe Ruth team. We had a school committee meeting, and I'm scratching my head. Who am I going to get to manage this 13-year-old team? And you're sitting next to me or 2 seats away from me, and I just walked up to you, and your response was, of course, right? It wasn't an argument. It wasn't, I didn't need to sell you on it. There were a bunch of kids that needed a leader, someone to take charge and to be there for them. And I told you about it, and you just said, of course. So that's the kind of character that you have. That's the kind of person you are. City of Peabody knows it, and we know it too. And I'm grateful for our friendship too. So thank you, John.
Swanee?
Joe, you go 9? I did jump the gun. I was excited. I don't know. You don't know where to start. You gave me some great compliments about what I do outside this committee. I honestly think you're one of the people in this city. There's several, but you're up there with what the city does not realize, what the school doesn't realize, what you do. I hope you've heard this, but if not, it's been said about you, is that if you have 15 minutes to sit down, you're going to create another organization to help somebody. You're going to find a way to help people. You don't sit down because you're always out there trying to do the best, not only for the students, but for the community. Your thoughtfulness, the way that you bring things into the committee to make people better, really struck me when we started to bring in items about the Holocaust and whatnot. And I saw your passion about making sure that people were aware of that and genocide, and not that you wanted them to relive history, but because you wanted them to learn from that. You wanted them to become better people from understanding what happened there. That's been your approach for everything. It is, how do we become better people? And that's what I admire about you and what I've always learned from you. We met in the baseball field. We started to coach together. I had my thought process, and you had your knowledge of baseball. I learned a ton. It was a great team. We had fun there, obviously. But those athletes that were with us, those young athletes, they benefited from that, and they benefited from you teaching the baseball, the history of baseball, and the way that you approach things. It's not just do good, it's how you drive people to be better that is phenomenal. Yes, there's going to be a massive hole in this school committee by you moving on, but I think to Brandy's point is that as a whole, you're going to be there for the school committee, and the city as a whole is going to be able to benefit from you being out there. The schools, anybody in that community that lives here is going to be in a much better place with you being up there. So congratulations on that. And again, thank you very much for the friendship, the guidance, and all that you've given me back, so as well as community. Thank you very much, Jared.
Swanee, thanks for the kind words. I'm glad you went last because I want to talk. Oh, I'm sorry, Bev. Swanee, I want to take us back to that baseball team. We played in, I don't know if it was a championship game or it was a double-A team. It was a bunch of little kids, 8, 9-year-old kids. They were cute. They were sponges trying to learn about so much and a little bit about baseball. And there was a kid on that team who wasn't able to play in that championship game. You both know who he is. And there was an incident that occurred as a result of that kid not playing in that game. And you just marched right out there and stood up for him. And you were a champion for him. And you taught a whole bunch of spectators about compassion that night. And I'm proud to tell you, I don't know if you know this, but that young man still plays baseball for us. Still plays Babe Ruth baseball, senior Babe Ruth baseball, and that's because of you. Because he could have gotten into a shell that night. There were, 200 people screaming and yelling and looking at him as if he had done something wrong, and he didn't do anything wrong. He was just a young boy who was having a tough night, not capable of playing a baseball game, and unfortunately, eyes were cast upon him because he was having a tough night. And you allowed that kid to feel good about himself. And it carries through to this day. He's a great kid. He's a great young man now. I look at him when I see him on the baseball field, and I always remember that night. So, again, thanks, John. Thanks.
Miss Dunn.
I would never forget or be able to let you go without wishing you well. We have had many bumpy years. Everyone knows that. I wish I could remember the date, but I know it's noted in our minutes of the first time we agreed on something, and we made sure it was in there. So I'm going to have to find that. But I also know that as time went on, we agreed on more and more things. And it was noted, and we noted it ourselves, and I appreciate that. One of the things that always impressed me was the amount of work you did outside of the school committee with our students, with all the kids in the sports. And I know you ran many leagues and kept all of those kids on the field when they couldn't find a team, or there were worries about some of those leagues not being able to continue, and you worked hard to bring them back. And that's important because you did a lot for the kids. And No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody, that's huge. You made sure that the kids are fed. And that's, I know, going to continue, but that's very, very needed and so appreciated. I think over the past few years, now that you're going, it's easy to say goodbye. I really will miss you. And I mean it sincerely, because, as I say, over the past few years, we have seen more agreement on things and worked closely on some very, very serious issues. Sitting here hearing you and Brandy talk about the things that we've gone through as a committee, there's a lot we forget about, and yet this board has worked hard together and stuck together through some really serious times. And until you stop and think about it, it's easy to just forget about it and get lost in the every other week meeting. So I really will miss you, Jared, and I'm glad everybody is appreciative of you going to the city council, because I said this to you before, you worked so hard for that position, and you're going to bring a good perspective to that group. Formed here with the school committee. I know you're not going to forget us. We're not going to let you forget us. Come budget time, you know we're going to haunt you. But you'll understand where we're coming from. And that means a lot. It really does. So I wish you well. You're not going very far, but in another way, it seems like a world away because we've been together for so many years. So thank you very much for your service to this board and to the kids in Peabody. That is huge.
Bev, thank you. 10 years ago, I couldn't imagine saying that some of my most enjoyable moments have been having laughs with you and with Brandy. Yes, they wouldn't have happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's what you call it.
No, there was a bumpy roads as being kind. We had some arguments, we had some battles, we had some philosophical disagreements, but I think, Johnny said it well. It was always with respect, right? It was always with courtesy. I think on occasion we'd get a little growl and a little sneer, but on few occasions, there were maybe one or two, but on few occasions, we walked away upset with each other. But I think for the most part, it was really just philosophical and fundamental differences.
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, those have kind of narrowed and bridged. Maybe we're certainly both getting a little bit older, and maybe life is and experiences are bringing us closer together. But it's the two of you in particular, because, not to discount people to my left, but the two of you have been here my entire tenure. And, Brandy and I actually ran against each other in 2007, and I think you were pregnant and you beat me. Yeah.
Came in third.
No, I came in fourth. I came in fourth that year. But anyway, but you guys remember the Kylie. You remember the budget meetings with the VCR videotapes, right? And when we wanted to go back and look at them, there was nothing digital at all. It was a different experience, that meeting I got asked to walk off the stage was a different mayor. It was a different time. We were looking at, it was conversations about schools closing, elementary schools closing, if you remember. Talk about an issue that divided us as a committee and as people, and where different passions came into play. And there was some turbulent times back then, and we came out friends. And that's about the nicest thing that I could have had come out of it. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, I'm certainly not an elected official, but I would be remiss if I didn't have an opportunity to speak. And so I'll go in the order that you both went. And I'll try to be brief, but it's not going to be easy. I have so much respect for both of you. John, it's been an amazing 4 years. I don't want to repeat a lot of what everyone said, but the two things that I want to point out that I haven't heard is, as much as everyone has talked about, your humility, how humble you are is so impressive. You do so much without looking for any credit, and I think that goes unnoticed. But I notice it, and I know the people on this committee notice it. I will say that I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason, and I think that your journey is just beginning, and you give so much to this committee and to this community that we're very fortunate to have you. And I know that your work on PBD Promise is only going to get stronger, and you'll continue to contribute. And I know that we're going to see you in the future, in whatever capacity that you want and that your family wants. You are a very important part of this community, and I'm very appreciative for the time we've spent together, for the perspective that you have and that you share, and the manner in which you do so is really incredible. And I just have found you to be, you know, such a man of integrity, and it's been an honor to serve with you for the past 4 years, and I look forward to our continued friendship and our continued work together, because we will be working together quite a bit in the future, and I'm excited for what that journey brings.
Thank you very much for the kind words. As I said earlier, we need to get our cadence back together for our coffees. And I appreciate the support where I hope not to disappear. I'm going to be here for you, for your staff, and as I said, anything you need somebody to help out with something, do not hesitate to reach out. You know you have my support. I'll be there for you and the staff for what you need in any capacity I can. So again, thank you very much for those kind words, and I cherish our friendship. Thank you.
As do I. Thank you. And Jared, I've been so impressed with you, and I just want to begin by saying I'm so happy for you. I know that this was something that you really wanted, and you know, I was so impressed when you called me to tell me personally that you were going to run, and I was excited for you because I knew this was a great path on your journey and a great part of your future. And you know, as I reflect back on the past 6 years working together, it's been incredible. I've grown. I've seen you grow as well, and you know, I think you ran an excellent campaign, and I think you're involved so much in this community, and all that you give, you know, from baseball to No Child Goes Hungry, just to the thoughtful way that you interact with people and the perspective that you provide. Early on in my tenure, you said something to me that really stuck, where I felt as though, and a lot of times it was me versus the committee, and saying, I don't know why we're not a team. I don't know, you know, we're all on the same team. And it was a little bumpy in the beginning. And you said to me, you know, we are a unit, we are a team as 6 school committee members, but we're also individuals. And it would behoove you to meet with each person individually and get to know them, and that was really sage advice, and I appreciate that, and I think I've done that, and I've gotten to know each member of the school committee individually, and I think it's helped all of our relationships. And today I had lunch with Herb Levine, and we spoke highly of you, and you know, he talked about your growth, and I know he has been a big part of that, and he has a lot of respect for you, as I know you do for him, and as do I, and we shared a moment there, you know, talking about how great it was going to be to have you on the city council, and you know, he talked about your growth, which you shed some light on as well, and I just appreciate you. I know that personally there's been times where you've reached out individually and say, hey, how you doing? You know, and I think, you know, that human side of things that people don't see are what serve you well as, you know, as a father, as a human, and as a member of this community. And I have a lot of respect for you, and I'm excited to work with you in a different capacity. But most importantly, I'm really blessed to have you as a friend, and I appreciate the time that we've spent together, and I look forward to a lot of time that we have moving forward in a different capacity.
Wow. Thanks, Doc. It's, I think the thing I value most about our relationship is there's no pretense, right? We're both able to talk freely and candidly, and with an eye towards helping each other and helping the community or the school district. And I haven't had that relationship with every superintendent that I've worked with. You're all different, just like we're all different, right? And it's been really nice watching you grow into the role of superintendent. You know, when you came here with us, you hadn't been a superintendent before, and it was in a tough time. We talked about that with COVID and Kara passing, and Mark stepping in and really, unfortunately for him, what a wonderful human, really jumped into something that evolved into way more than he expected. And you came here before you even started here, right? And that was impressive to me. Your eagerness to jump into this position and your eagerness to learn how to be a superintendent, your willingness to take some advice, even though we went down the road a little bit before I put my arms around your shoulders, right? Because, you know, it's not my place to, you have your own philosophy and your own way of doing stuff, and you still do, and that's good. That's great. That's what it should be. But I appreciate really our ability to talk to each other, our ability to, we've had bumpy roads too, right? And we've had, you know, and next morning or later that night, it's a text or a phone call, you know, appreciate it, we're still good, you know, we're, whatever it is to kind of get past it. And it's not even getting past it, it's just recognizing that we can disagree and still be good friends and still have respect for each other and all those things. So thank you for your kind words. It's been phenomenal.
So, we got a little, Mr. Swanson, please.
Sorry, just I do want to publicly thank the mayor as well. I got caught up in the moment here. Obviously, the support he's shown us, support that he's given, and the friendship that we developed with him as well. And I know another one of those that I would not be here without his encouragement and his guidance and all he's done for me over the last 4 years and allowed me to speak to him and had the conversations, and he's heard. So I want to thank him publicly as well for where I am. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and I know how much he cares about you as a person and as a school committee member, and for you, Jared, as well. And he would once in a while give you the Jared. Was that okay? That was pretty good. All right, let's end on a joke, because you didn't get my little joke there when Brandy was pregnant and ran against you. So the great Tommy Lasorda, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, way back when, had a catcher by the name of Mike Scioscia, another great Italian. And Mike Scioscia was a catcher, and he was kind of burly and really, really slow. So someone had asked Tom Lasorda how slow Mike Scioscia was, and Tommy Lasorda said, well, if Mike Scioscia ran against or raced against a pregnant woman, he would finish third. So that's what that was. So this is the last meeting of the year. Everyone, please do something great for someone else. It's a difficult time of the year. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays to everybody. Just, you know, we're in tough times, so everyone just lend a hand to anyone who needs it, and even if they don't, because especially here in Peabody, we're very, very fortunate to have the community that we have. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to end our meeting.
Are we getting Chinese food?
We can.